Jesus movement is classically characterized by long hair, bell-bottom wearing, finger to the sky pointing Christian young adults on the late 60s and 70s. But in truth, the Jesus movement is more than just that. Although there is no particular reference that is considered to have triggered the whole entire movement, there is one common starting point. In San Francisco, within the Haight-Ashbury district, a hub of counterculture had formed. It was in this district that Ted Wise and his wife began evangelizing to a group of hippies in the late 1960s. Ted Wise and his wife knew all too well what they were going through with drugs, sex, and doing things that just weren't Christian at all. And they have now found Jesus and wanted to share it with so many people in San Francisco. It was becoming obvious by this time that the culture shift was taking place. People saw a need for change in America society, yet the church, which had always been the mode to exact change, was falling short. Although the need for revival was high in America, especially among the young adults and youth, it seemed that there was no foundation for it in the free love generation. Yet there was a numerous sign of revival outside of the church that were beginning to spread across the country. That foundation, the new culture itself, according to Theodore Roszak, in his book, The Making of a Counterculture, the young people of the 60s and 70s may have started looking for political and social change. But what they were really looking for more than that, they were searching for something beyond reason. That they were actually looking for was a transformation of self and the environment. This transformation was sought through feeling, passion, visionary expressions. At first, the primary means of obtaining this transformation was drugs and hallucinogens, but eventually the use of drugs declined due to the realization of their ill effect and lack of providing true salvation. In search for transformation was looking for salvation. Some found what they were looking for, their salvation in Jesus. Those that found Jesus in their quest for transformation are the driving force behind what is called the Jesus movement of the late 60s and 70s. This movement so saturated the culture that in June of 71, it graced the cover of Time magazine and was called the Jesus Revolution. Jesus music primarily began in population centers of the United States where the Jesus movement was gaining momentum. Southern California, especially Costa Mesa and Hollywood, San Francisco, Seattle, and Chicago around 1969 to 70. Large number of hippies and street musicians began converting to born-again Christianity. A number of these conversions, especially in Southern California, was due to a largely outreach of Lonnie Frisbee and Pastor Chuck Smith of the Calvary Chapel in Costa Mesa. In the aftermath of such conversions, these musicians continued playing the same styles of music that they had been playing prior to their conversion. Though they now influence their lyrics with a Christian message. Most of these early bands gigged wherever asked, usually for whatever money could be collected at the passing of the hat or basket. This was known as the love offering. Few, if any, many made living from playing in the years of 70 to 73, nor did they expect to. Most viewed their music as a means of sharing their newfound faith and encouraging listeners to commit their lives to Jesus. No matter the sacrifice of many of the bands and artists that came out of this time period, some became leaders with the Jesus movement. Most notably among them are Larry Norman, Barry McGrew, Love Song, Second Chapter of Acts, Randy Stonehill, Randy Matthews, and during the mid-70s, Keith Green. The Calvary Chapel and the Jesus movement on the Southern California coast began when Chuck Smith became the pastor of a small 25-member congregation in Santa Ana, California. Chuck Smith and his wife were on the beach in California and noticed numerous young people along the coast. While there, they commented on how there must be some way to reach them with the gospel. Soon they met their daughter's boyfriend, John, who introduced them to Lonnie Frisbee. Chuck asked Lonnie to become the youth leader of the Calvary Chapel to bring the hippies into church and to the message to the streets. This Jesus movement led Christian pastors that are now leading the way for Christ, like Greg Laurie, who came from Chuck Smith's church, and Rick Warren, who went to school here at CBU, and Francis Chan, who is leading a mega church in San Francisco. And there's many others around the United States and the world who are touched from the Jesus movement. Some of the resources that I used on this presentation were Angels and Fire, the Jesus Movement, Christian Today. Thank you so much for watching this. I look forward to seeing all of yours, and have a blessed week.